Hey, hope you are doing great and busy with your work. This is Gautam and today I'll be demonstrating you how you can create this vector landscape using Inkscape. Somehow it makes a landscape in Inkscape, Inkscape landscape. Just forget about it. Okay, so for that, go to File, then Document Properties. Make sure you have orientation unit set to pixels and then display unit set to pixels also. Or you can just scroll down for I'll be making the canvas size by 1280 by 720, which is right here. Or you can just type by um, or you can just type in numerics here 1280 by 720 pixels and make sure you have landscape selected and then just close out of that. And here you have the canvas, and I just press 1 on the keyboard to zoom into 100%, and then just enable the option that shows toggle snapping page border. Make sure you have turned it on, and then I'll press R on the keyboard, or you can just press on this icon which shows create rectangles and squares, and it will automatically snap to page border if you have this option enabled. And then just click and drag, and then just click on another time the select tool and just make it this aqua color for now. For changing the fill and stroke color, I will go here to open up the fill and stroke menu, or you can just press Ctrl Shift F on the keyboard to bring that up. And for next, I'll be pressing B on the keyboard to bring the Bezier curve, and make sure you have mode to create regular Bezier path selected and then shape to none selected. And then just snap on where you like it. I am going right here, and then just click, 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 and then hit enter on the keyboard, and then press N on the keyboard to bring the nodes tool, and just click and drag on all the nodes you just created, and then click on this that shows make selected nodes auto smooth. And here you can adjust now by clicking and dragging on these handles, or you can just drag these handles also, to make sure that you are okay with your graphics. Okay, let's try that again. Press B on the keyboard, and I'll making that a little bit bigger for now, and then hit enter on the keyboard, and then press N on the keyboard, and then just click and drag and hit this key that shows make selected nodes auto. And yeah, I'm looking that much, and then press B on the keyboard to complete the figure all the way to the bottom. And there you have it, your landscape. And then just press this color that shows lime, that code is 00FF00, and then just press shift and then click on this little X to get rid of the stroke color. And so for now I'm just clicking and dragging this L column under the HSL value to the left to bring just little bit darker. I'll just select it and adjust it a little bit. Okay. Okay, there you have. And now I'm just duplicating it to make it a drop shadow. So for that, just duplicate it by pressing Ctrl D, or you can just right click and duplicate it right here. And then just take that button that shows lower selection to one step and just click it once, so that if you cannot see it, then we'll just change it color. And if you are not able to see it now too, and then press for that, then press shift and black color right here to bring the stroke value, so that you can see right here that we have a duplicated copy behind the green landscape we just created. And then I'll just click and drag this little arrow to bring that a little bit up. For your easy work, you can just turn off the snapping for when you are clicking and dragging on the behind object. And I guess I'll take it right up here, and then I'll get rid of the outline by holding shift and clicking on this little X, and just give it a little blur. Make sure you have black selected. So for that, you can just see here it shows fill color is selected to green. That means you have selected the upper object. And then, or you can just press alt and click on another time, so you have it your black object selected. And I am giving it a nice amount of blur to give it a depth. You can just make it smaller to increase or decrease the depth. Okay, I am just duplicating it another time, or you can just create another ellipse. You can just press Ctrl Shift F, or you can just I'm creating an ellipse. So for that, press E on the keyboard, or you can just click on this option that shows create circles, ellipses and arcs, and just click it and hold Control and Shift, and make sure you make sure that your cursor is going horizontally towards the right or left where you want it. And then go to select tool, and then just press on this, then press this object we just created, and then press D on the keyboard. Sorry, I apologize, I just click on this, the black object we just created, then press D on the keyboard and hover your cursor so that you just get the green color of the same we just created. And then on the L column, drag it to the left a little bit to give it a darker shade, and then select this object we created, then hit Ctrl D, or you can just press right click and duplicate it, and then hold shift and click on this ellipse we just created, and then go to path intersection, and you have a little ground line in the cartoonish style. And I'm just creating a little windmill right over here and here, or you can just create a tree. I'm creating a windmill right here, then for that press B on the keyboard. Make sure you have mode to create regular browser path selected and shape to none selected, and then just click on the canvas to make a windmill or create a line. Hold Ctrl to snap the bezier pen on the horizontal or the vertical axis, and just click, then leave the control and click and take the option back to the origin point we just started, and then press N on the keyboard. Just click on drag on the above node and then just hold control and make sure that you have in the middle right here. Yeah, and I'm just giving it a fill color of white, and if you can't see it, you can just click and drag on the canvas to see it more clearly. And then for the windmill, I'll press E on the keyboard and then just click and drag on the canvas. For now you can't just see that, so for that you can just press black. So here you have it, and then I'll make it a little smaller and hold control and shift. While holding the scaling handles, you can just press on the graphic another time, so you get just this rotating handle. So you can just click and drag while holding control the rotation handle just right here. Okay, I am just taking it a little bit this side, and just click on this and make sure that you have it on centered it up on vertical axis. So for that, I'll go to this option that shows align and distribute objects, or you can just press Ctrl Shift A on the keyboard to open up the align and distribute menu, and make sure that you have relative to last selected from the drop down menu, and then just press this ellipse we just created, then hold Shift and then press this and make sure you have center on vertical axis, and then just click off the graphic to deselect everything, and then just click on ellipse, click on another time to get the rotation handles, and then just hold control while rotating it, and while rotating it you can just press space bar to make it a duplicate copy, and then I'll make a duplicate copy just right here and right here. And I'll not make a duplicate copy right here because I need only 3 blades, so that we can just rotate it on the axis. If we duplicate it another time by pressing spacebar on the keyboard, so we have to just delete this. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is holding shift, we just select all the ellipses we just created and just give it a fill color of white, and then while holding shift click on black color to give it an outline, and to increase the width of the outline you can just go to fill and stroke menu and then hover onto stroke style and make sure you have, I guess 2 pixels is good, and give it the 2 pixels too, and we can just click and drag on all of this. Let me just small it a little bit just right here to make it a little like cartridge. You can hold control anytime you want. Okay, so now I will click and drag on all the graphic we just created and then hit Ctrl G on the keyboard, or you can just press this button right here that shows group selected objects, and there you have it, your windmill. So you can just place it right here, and if you think that it is looking a little bit bigger, so you can hold control and take that arrow just down a little bit, and then hit Ctrl D to make it a duplicate copy, and then just click and drag on the left side, and then just hold Ctrl and just click and drag on the arrow so that it shows that it may have a distance of somewhat about. That means this is behind this window. Okay, so now I'm just gonna create an a tree. So for that, press E on the keyboard and make sure you have fill color green selected or light green selected while holding shift and control. You can just click and drag on the canvas to make it an ellipse. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just press B on the keyboard to bring the Bezier tool, and then click on the canvas to get this point, and where you have to go you can just press Ctrl on the keyboard. That snaps somewhat angles of 90, minus 15, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75 and 90, and you can just click another time and then just click, click and click, and then press N on the keyboard and just click and drag on the above nodes we just created, and then hover onto align and distribute menu and make sure you have left selected from the drop down menu, and then click on the first menu that shows align selected nodes to a common horizontal axis, and it aligns the nodes to the horizontal axis, and then just bring the select tool back, and then I will just make it a brown color right here, and for its branches I am just pressing R on the keyboard, and for rectangle tool and I am just clicking and dragging on the canvas by not holding control on shift, and I am just going to make it a path. So go to path, object to path, and then press N on the keyboard and click and drag on the two nodes right here, and that option shows the first option. The option shows join selected nodes. Just click on that, and I'll click and drag on this and then press on this key that shows show transformation handles for selected nodes, and then hold Control and shift while scaling it, and there you have your branch. Just click on this again so that it will never pop on your graphics again while you open Inkscape. Okay, so now I'm gonna just rotate it, and just click another time to scale it, and I just press Ctrl D on the keyboard and then press H to flip it horizontally, and just click and drag on this, Ctrl D to duplicate it, and then just make it a roughly like cartoonish small, and this a little big, and then just press this, press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and just place it right here, then hit Ctrl D, then press H on the keyboard to flip it horizontally, and then just click and drag on all the brown graphics we just created, and then go to path and select union, and there you have it, your branches for the tree. and then I'm just gonna delete it and making it a nice and cool circle that is genuinely a tree. I'm just gonna lower selection one step down so that it covers all the branches. I'll just press Ctrl and Shift and take that arrow to scale it and lock the proportions. You can just, yeah, right there it's looking pretty good. And then click and drag on all the graphics, then hit Ctrl G to group it, or you can just ungroup it and scale it where I just started. I think right here it's looking pretty good. Or you can just rotate it and then just click and drag over everything and then press Ctrl G to group it together. And then just click and drag it on the canvas, then hold Ctrl and just bring it in front of the windmill tool, and then hit Ctrl D on the keyboard to make it a duplicate copy, and then hold Ctrl and just take that arrow and scale it right here. You can just place it anywhere you want by scaling it up or down by holding Ctrl, otherwise it will not scale on the proportion. Okay, so for bringing the depth, just what we do here, I'll just press Ctrl D on the keyboard and then I'll just lower selection, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then just 6. I'll press lower selection to the bottom 6 times and then I'll hold shift and click on black color, which gives a stroke of black. You can just see right here. I'm just gonna make sure you have snapping disabled. I'm just gonna click on this and holding Alt and clicking it on another time so that you have the below object selected, and then just scale it up a little bit, make it color black, get rid of the stroke color by holding shift and clicking on the X. And just go to fill and stroke menu and give it a little blur, just right there, and you can just scale it anytime. You can just press this, then hit Ctrl D, hold Ctrl so that it locks upon the axis, and then press H on the keyboard to flip it horizontally, and then just scale it up or down where you want. And then I'll just press lower selection one step, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just press 5 times lower selection to bottom to make it below all the front graphics, and then I'll just scaling it just one here, and then I'll just hit Ctrl D on the keyboard and I'll just lower the selection, make sure you change the color to black and give it a little bit of height, and then I'll just hit that key that shows lower selection one step. Then I'll just press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6 times you have to click on that. And then hover on the fill tab, or you can just fill stroke tab, and then just give it a nice little bit blur. Maybe that is, you can just decrease the size to give it a little bit depth. What I'm gonna do is, actually this is an object that contains a node. I'm just clicking and dragging this node just behind the tree so that it covers the shape or the distorted shape we just created. Then hit Alt and then click on another time on the graphic, and then just press delete on the keyboard to get rid of the drop shadow. I'm just gonna do it again. Yeah, that is looking pretty good, and I'll just now give it a shade, give the shape of landscape, or I'm just gonna do is I'll just control D, duplicate the sky, and I'll go to path, then object to path, and then hit N on the keyboard to bring back the node tool, and then just click and drag on the bottom left node, and then just press delete on the keyboard, and then just click and drag on the handle to give it a nice and smooth curve. To make it visible, hold shift and then press black from the palette so that you can just see it that it is right here. And then I'll just lower selection to the one step down. I'll just press once, twice, thrice, four. Oh, sorry. And just click on this. Lower selection to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have it. I'll just do it a nice blur by hitting Control D and make it a black. Just click and drag on this arrow, and then just press this key and give it a nice little bit blur. You can just scale it in or out any way you want. I'm just getting rid of the stroke color which this is the have by holding shift and then press little X right here so that you get rid of the stroke color. And then I am just pressing R on the keyboard to bring back the rectangle tool, and I am just gonna enable the snapping again, and make sure you have enabled toggle snapping to page border enabled, and then I'll just click and drag on the whole drawing we just created, and then I am just going to back to select and transform tool, and I am just clicking and dragging on all of the graphics we just created, and then go to object, clip, and then set, and there you have it, your own landscape in vector form, ready using Inkscape. If you have any questions, you can comment down below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon next to it. And as always, thanks for watching.